There we go. Looks like we're up. I think we're up. We will get started here in just a moment.
Now we got to try not to cuss for 2 minutes.
That will not happen.
Just a couple days late. 1 day late.
Yeah, we're on our own schedule. So
it happens. Adult life sucks.
Are we up? Have you looked? It's not even notifying you that we...
Yep. I already had it open.
I was going to say, it's pretty sad when they don't even notify us that we're up.
I already had it up.
All right. We will get started with the Illuminati, Satan, and the music industry episode. Kind of topical episode, I guess, with what's going on. Maybe I'm stretching a little bit. I'll stretch it. But what are you looking for?
The remote for the lights. I'm going to test it. One more down.
You're going to have to go through the cycle now.
You just press down, right?
Once it's set, you gotta... That might be the lowest it'll go.
Oh.
Well, here, let me see it. Hold on. We'll just try some different shit. Ooh, get a little...
See, that's what I'm looking for, to see.
We could go with this and it's kind of spooky.
Oh, leave it there.
We'll leave it right there. Of course, I'm going to be lit because we got this big-ass screen right here in front of me. Maybe we should have did this before we started. But what fun would that be?
Well, I forget that this thing has so many fucking settings. Oh, there goes cuss, not cussing for 2
Hey,
minutes.
we made it a minute and 47 seconds. Not bad.
Fuck.
All right, we will get started here in just a minute. Let me make sure everything's up and running. And I think next week, I'm going to try to stream on multiple. Maybe like do the Twitter or X account. And
We could start a Twitch.
yeah. See what... Because you can do it all from here.
Rumble.
Yeah.
We're guaranteed not to get taken down off Rumble. It was supposedly. I'll put it to the test. I mean,
we'll give her a shot. We'll give her the good old college try. All right, we will get started. If you're in the chat, be sure to say hi so we know you're here. Be sure to like, share, and all that happy horse shit.
It really does help the channel grow. I hate saying that, but it's so true.
Like and subscribe. Hey, we've gotten... and hopefully this weekend I'm going to start doing some more videos. And I'm thinking about doing...
Yeah, I went back through and saved some of our old ones and started clipping them up because I'm like, some of them are so old that nobody's going to fucking know that I'm re-uploading them.
Yeah, but even the live stream, cutting it down and doing a full episode, just condensed.
And putting them back into the podcast library
or
whatever the fuck.
Well, into the video.
Playlist.
Yes, I'm thinking about doing that.
Man,
but then again, that takes work, and frankly, I don't know.
My calluses are really getting after it.
Oh, working hard. I don't even know. I don't want to know why you're getting calluses, but that's okay.
It's because I don't wear gloves at the gym.
Oh.
And all I do is not cardio.
I thought it was because of your chronic masturbation.
We're not that dry. If you can hear it, you need to adjust something.
No, I don't hear shit.
If it sounds like a tribal woman grinding grains in one of those giant mortars and pestles, then we might need to go back to the drawing board.
All right, let me take a drink, and I guess we can get this party started since nobody's going to say hi in the chat. We know people are watching, but you shy people.
I see two.
All right, piss on it. Don't care. Are you ready to pop this cherry?
This is a perfect topic for you to start with piss on it.
All right. Let's go. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the GITM podcast, where we cover the true crime, the paranormal, the conspiracy, and some topical topics. Current affairs, I guess you'd say. And today's kind of a mix. Current affairs, because it's very topical for what's going on in the world today. and it's something we've covered in the past with a little twist. It's going to be fun. It's going to be completely average, actually, because we don't do anything.
The GITN podcast, the goddamn Illuminati trippin' nincompoops podcast.
Yes. Let me get that off there because it's annoying me.
I mean, does nincompoops even start with a fucking N?
I think so, but you're asking me. I barely graduated high school.
I wonder if that's got to be in the Webster Dictionary, right? Merriam-Webster had to put that in there.
I want to know who's Miriam. When did they join the party?
What, women?
Yes.
So who gave women the right to make up words?
Jesus. Oh, what kind of world are we living in? No, but today's
not even supposed to be voting, but you're making up words, Miriam.
Today's topic is going to, if you can see the title, the Illuminati, Satan, and the music industry.
I had to do my Bieber flip on that one.
Yeah, we've covered satanic or satanic music.
Yes.
Before, I forget what the exact title of that episode was.
We actually got a handful of follows from deathcore bands and metalcore bands off of that upload. But
this episode, I wanted it to be more about the Illuminati and the power structure of the music industry with what's going on in the world today.
Illuminati.
But naturally, you can't research the Illuminati and the conspiracy aspect of it without...
Unless you get a sit-down with one of them.
Yeah,
I reached out to Jay-Z.
Did he not respond?
He did. I was like, hey, man, would you mind sitting down with us? You know, we're very acclaimed and credited as a journalistic thing.
So in other words, you lied your ass off.
And we would like your opinion on some things that you may have been involved with. And he left me a voice message, and it was something along the lines of, he's like, Hove. That was it. That's all he said.
But like I was saying, I wanted this to be more about the Illuminati, but you can't talk about the Illuminati and their role in society, I should say.
Without talking about the Founding Fathers.
Without talking about it. Always, there's a short leap to satanic ritual and all that shit. So it rears its ugly head, its horned head.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard knock life.
We're just gonna be full of fucking quotes tonight.
Oh, I could go all night.
So
for some reason, when I was in the shower, all I was thinking of was like, I was thinking of like the episode we did with like metal being portrayed or misconstrued as being demonic because of a lot of its shock value. We talked about that. But one thing that, like, because I listen to, anybody who knows, I listen to almost always the same band exclusively at the gym, like just their music. Because
Hall & Oates?
Yeah.
Simon Garfunkel?
Simon Garfunkel every once in a while.
Okay.
Chicago, if I'm really getting after it. In Alabama. I would say CCR, but that doesn't fit the narrative of the rest of the bands that we've listed.
That? I'm thinking of that. What was her name? Kind of a country star, but more gospel. Oh,
Dolly Parton?
No, it's. Oh, I forget.
Like of a recent fame?
Nah, she from the '90s or early 2000s.
Martina McBride.
No, she never went.
Reba McEntire.
No, you're just gonna name off.
Faith Hill.
No. Alison Krauss, I think.
I don't know the name, but I
think that's her. I think that's her name. I don't know.
Oh, but yeah, what I was saying is all I kept thinking of when I was in the shower before we did this was I can't even remember what song it is, but it's the band Paleface Swiss. They're really heavy, they're really angry, they're great gym music, but for some reason I just kept thinking about one line in one of their songs, and it's not even like a lyric, it's like he's just kind of yelling shit, like an ad lib, if you will, and he's like talking about stuff being made up, and he's like, the only thing that's made up is your stupid fucking religion, because it's made up by human fucking beings. And I was like, that's why that type of shit is what gets all the attention from all this.
Right. Yeah.
Even though he's not saying go worship the devil, he's just saying fuck you with your organized cult.
Right. I mean, and I believe a big topic of that episode that we did was a lot of it was for show. Now, there are some of the Norwegian and Scandinavian.
Oh yeah,
definitely,
like
that,
Behemoth and
that are living the life.
Or I mean, even you go into Ghost. Have you ever heard Ghost?
Is Zach Baggins
No,
the lead singer?
thank God. No, they've actually had. I think they're on their 5th or 6th singer, because the singer is Papa Emeritus,
Okay.
and they just go by. They just have a number like 1, 2, 3, 4, shit like that. But like the main vocalist is always in death paint, and dressed usually as like a dark pope, and like all the other members are like minions.
Is he in blackface?
Yeah, well, partially.
What do you mean a dark pope? Or just a symbolic?
Like he wears like a pope
dark.
hat and shit like that, but it's not all white and shit.
Okay.
And then with the death paint.
all the death paint,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about a little bit later.
And then like everybody else wears fucking. See, Lamont said Ghost is good. You would probably like Ghost. Like Ghost makes a super like
The only ghost
80s sounding rock sound. Like there's no screaming or anything like that. They're actually very melodic and shit, and they're really talented. Like the band itself is really good.
The only ghost I like or the only ghost I'm familiar with here lately is just the women in my life. They ghost the shit out of me.
I was haunted by the ghost of Chipotle Pass yesterday.
We're not getting into that.
You saw it. Why do you think I was up that early?
Twice.
My asshole was falling out of my body.
Yeah, and I had to go to work and still had to
I sprayed the shit out of that
brush
bathroom.
my teeth. I was
actually.
like, oh, this is. Hold on, I said, where's my mask?
Oh no, I put down a solid percentage of a bottle of Febreze in that bathroom
like-
just for you.
I was like, fuck it, I'm going to be late.
I was
Don't
like,
care.
if he's gonna complain about his mouth tasting bad, it's gonna be because it tastes like chemicals, not poop. But no, Ghost. Last I knew, I don't know if it changes with the membership, but like, at least there for a while, like Ghost was like alleged to be members of the Satanic Church, and like I said, they make like legitimately like 80s rock sounding music. Now, that being said, they do have some themes, like Mary on a Cross is a song. Mary on a cross, just like Holy Mary. It's super fucking catchy though. Or like, they were the ones that had that song that was all over TikTok and shit, where it's just like the repetition of the names of the different Satans and demons. Like, fucking, I can't.
You and I have completely different algorithms.
No, it was like people would post it with like pictures of like different cats, and it'd be like Beelzebub, Behemoth, Lucifer, and it'd be like different cats or dogs or something like that, or like their kids with different faces.
Well, I'm convinced that cats are the human form of demons.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably. Well, according to Constantine, their eyes are portals to hell.
I believe it.
And I find it weird. I find a mammal who has, what is it, elliptical eye pupils to be odd. Like how don't cats have like the fucking the slit pupils when they dilate? Like what the fuck is up with that?
I don't know.
That is a right reserved to reptilians, like the Queen of England. Rest in piss.
That's not nice. We don't play that game here. We're being nice to the royal family.
I still think the royal family is one of the most, like, quote unquote evil fucking organizations in the world.
And one thing about this, the Illuminati, like I said earlier, you can't get into the Illuminati without talking about the satanic comes into it. Just for a mere fact of ritual, because I don't want to say common belief, but common thought is as soon as you start talking rituals and all that shit, it immediately goes to Satan, it immediately goes to something negative. Because that's just basically Christianity the way they are. You're not with us, you're against us.
Although gathering for praise and baptizing people and shit like that's also the same fucking thing.
I know. And the Illuminati...
Stupid.
There is... We've all, especially a big term in today's world is, the New World Order. The elites trying to, not that New World Order, but the elites taking over, or there's a small group of people.
Do you think that like Thomas Jefferson walked into into fucking town hall with all his cronies that were the beginning of the known Illuminati, and he just said, "You know who we are, but you don't know why we're here."
Very possible.
And then got sued for taking someone else's intellectual property.
Even though that was his. Yeah, we won't get into that.
So stupid.
But there is that, and I'm not even disagreeing with it, that there is a group of people trying to manipulate society.
I mean, even if it's not the Illuminati, that's just a fucking given.
And I think Illuminati, anybody that knows what the Illuminati is not a conspiracy theory. Maybe in today's world it is. You don't know.
It's the enlightened ones.
There was an actual Illuminati. Now, whether or not they still exist is up for debate.
There's also a musical artist, Illuminati.
If you say so.
Could not tell you any of his or their songs. It popped up while I was looking for stuff for the thumbnail.
I'm going to have to take your word on that one. But that's not... There is definitely a group of people, maybe a large group of people, looking to... How should we say this? Structure society. Look at 2020.
Oh.
That was in a small group.
Schmovich-19?
Yeah, that was a small group that was dictating how everybody in the world, basically. Now, when I say small group, the leadership of all countries, which probably have some overlap. There's some boys sitting in a cigar room, doing some brandy, saying, maybe we ought to lock that shit down. Jackasses.
Hell yeah, brother.
But that is...
I'm a 5-0 out tonight.
People will automatically assume, the Illuminati or Bohemian Grove and all that shit. But the Illuminati has kind of become a catch-all term for people looking to control or society, basically. So you have to be careful with all this.
Well, because for real, what most people think of as the Illuminati is already a confirmed thing.
Yeah.
What most people posit is the Illuminati is the Bilderberg Group, which will probably become an episode at some point, because I find that to be terrifyingly fascinating.
But that's open in the... yes, that Illuminati has just become a catch-all term to a group of people, which that is, of powerful people getting together, trying to set the course in which we are going to go as I guess a planet, since it's pretty much from everybody's there.
Oh yeah, like everybody talks about the Illuminati. Like, I'm sorry, like any price gouging or price fixing, that's the Bilderberg Group. Right. That's what they're there for. That's what they meet once a year or whatever the fuck it is for at that stupid fucking hotel in like upstate New York.
Is it upstate New York?
I think they move it. I think the one Alex Jones tried to get into was like in New York or something.
That was Bohemian Grove.
No, he also tried to get into...
I was going to say that's in California.
Yeah, no, he also tried to get into the Bilderberg Group.
But I think they move it around a lot, because I know it was in France or somewhere.
Well, yeah, because it's got what? Over the course of its existence, it's been like the what is it, the Wallman family or whatever the fuck that owns Walmart, McDonald's, all the hugest companies in the world, on top of all of the most affluent and longest running royal families in the world. So yeah, I'm sure they have to. They're like, well, Gerald's 87 years old. He can't go to Nova Scotia.
And we are coming.
Fuck, all right, Jared.
We are coming to getting very dangerously close to
Big
possibly a one world government.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not for. I don't know, but I'm not for or against. But think about it.
You telling me you're a commie?
Can't fuck it up anymore. The United States is fucked up right now.
Well,
fuck.
You could, but I see where you're going.
Try something new, I guess. But even if it does happen, is it really going to change our lives any?
I think we just go Metal Gear Solid type shit, or not Metal Gear Solid, fucking Twisted Metal.
Don't know.
It's kind of like Mad Max.
Oh,
in a way,
I'm down.
But include that there's like massive civilizations. Like they take cities. It's like new, like they have like new New York or new San Francisco, and it's all gated and shit. And they be shooting motherfuckers outside. They're like, no, you can't get in.
Right. But if there is a group looking to change society or direct society in certain directions, I think the music industry, entertainment in general, but really the music industry is a great way to do it.
It's potentially
the best
your
way.
widest scope.
Right. Everybody likes music, and music has a profound effect on everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if anybody doesn't like music, you don't have to worry about them. It's a pretty small population.
All right. So we are going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the actual Illuminati, what the Illuminati is, the original Illuminati that is confirmed was a real thing. And naturally, there's going to be a Freemason part of this because you can't mention the Illuminati without throwing in the Freemasons. And what pisses me, I don't want to say pisses, what aggravates me the most, because you have to listen to some conspiracy podcasts to get some decent information. Or because you want to look at all the sides. And when you talk about the Illuminati, they always throw the Freemasons in there. They always throw Satan in there and the occult. It's not always that way. Those three things are not joint at the private parts.
Well, we talk about it all the time. It's like crucifying a population for the sins of one,
right,
if you will. It's the opposite of Jesus. Now that's an interesting thought. I just thought about that because I just said it.
Okay, good. I'm glad you thought about it before you said it.
That's how it works. Reading Rainbow.
Most of the time you don't think when you speak, but that's beside the point.
But I've never really thought of it like that. That's a clear indicator. I don't know if clear indicators are, but like Jesus died for everyone's sins. So
Jesus was a giver.
Yeah, but I'm trying to vocalize this. Like that basically translates in any societal issue.
Right.
Where every time something bad happens, the entire group of whoever is involved is demonized and fucking all cops are bastards, all that shit, defund the police, the Crusades, even though that was, related. But like, what an umbrella thing to fall back on as one of the most widespread religions in the world. It's like, well, what the man we believe in did the opposite, so he's better, and since we follow him, we're better. I've never really thought about that. It encompasses pretty much everything you could come across.
True, very true.
Unrelated to this topic, but it just popped into my stupid fucking skull.
It's all related. But in today's society, especially in today's headlines, with what has went down over the past 4 years, with the Epstein, it starts with Epstein, which was more powerful people, yes, entertainment. Then we have what has just recently, past few weeks went down, is the Diddy and his baby oil.
God.
I mean, there's so many, but here's the thing: there's so many conspiracies with this. Just from was he a member of Illuminati?
Are we talking about Diddy?
Diddy, or even Epstein, Illuminati, or is it occult? Or is he an agent for the CIA?
I don't know, but I tell you what,
pick your fucking poison.
I have legitimately seen some videos lately, and I cannot unsee the awkwardness of any video that involves him and Justin Bieber at the same time anymore. I feel it's quite apparent that there's something weird.
Hindsight 2020. You look back at some of that shit, you're like, oh.
Or what Usher said. You see what Usher said about when he lived with him for like a week or whatever it was?
Yeah.
And he was like, Jose, he was like, I experienced some things. Or like just interviews. Like I saw one where
I believe it's somebody said, well, would you let your kids go to the house or something?
He said, oh, hell no.
Hell no.
Yeah, or like Diddy even like jokingly talking about like parties at his house. He's like, they're like, what would be involved at a party at your house? He was like, we're going to need locks. And this was on like Conan or fucking Jimmy Kimmel or some shit like that. And I was like, it was like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme in that, what is that? Is that the Hollywood one? Fuck, what's like the newer Tarantino movie? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Isn't that what it's from?
Or Unchained or
No, not Django Unchained. I think it's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You've seen the meme Where's Leonardo DiCaprio sitting there drinking his beer and he's watching the news and he's like,
Oh, yeah.
that's how I feel when I see these videos of fucking Diddy over the last like 20 years now.
Right.
And then there's also Keefe D saying that he paid him $1 million to kill fucking Biggie now,
right.
too, which I think we all fucking saw that coming.
There was, and I understand why some people believe he was connected to the government, a double agent or CIA adjacent, because I believe his dad was an informant. His dad wasn't big into crime.
Snitch.
I believe, what was that movie with Denzel, American Gangster?
Mm-hmm.
I believe his dad actually worked for the man who that movie was about, or was in that gang or whatever it's called, or crew. So it's very possible, but not everybody that
Frank White.
I mean, I would go under like Epstein more as an asset to get blackmail on
politicians and
powerful people.
Yeah.
As more CIA or Mossad or whatever.
I was going to say, allegedly, he worked for the Israeli government.
To where Diddy, maybe just more of a freak.
Is that his name?
Sean Puffy Combs?
Yeah, is it Diddy?
He goes by 1,500 different names. I can't keep up.
Puffy, Puff Daddy, Diddy, Sean Combs, P. Diddy, P. Diddler, Pete David, Pete Diddenson.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't, when I look at that scenario, I don't look at it as, okay, this is to get blackmail on these people. Or yes, it is, but not for government. It's more of business to get something, hey, do this, I have this kind of thing. Not necessarily more personal, I guess, or in the free market, not in the government market. But I could be wrong.
But I mean, when you get into that level of monetary value, it all just defies gravity and goes back up anyway in some way. I just came to a realization: I'll never be able to watch fucking Get Him to the Greek the same again. I forgot he was a fuck. I don't see no Go-Gets.
So the recent news has sparked people's imagination with this, as it should.
Fuck that dude.
The list of entertainers that went to Epstein Island, worst case scenario, they're all into some freaky shit, which I'm down with. I'm good. Let your freak flag fly.
With consenting adults.
Yes. Now, that was underage. Epstein was underage, but apparently, most of the Diddy's parties, I'm assuming, were overage, but hey.
But he clearly, I think there seems to be, I don't want to say clear evidence, but pretty strong evidence vis-a-vis Usher and J. Beebs that I find it hard to believe that there was if they're talking about going to parties and hanging out with Diddy and da-da-da-da, I find it hard to believe that he took the time to put together different social engagements because there was people like young Justin Bieber or young Usher within his household at the time.
And the one thing you'll hear, especially with Sean Combs, it is a learned behavior. He was probably had this happen to him. There's been mention of Clyde Davis. Brooming.
Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll start worrying about that shit.
Him, and it is a learned behavior. So maybe that's where the powerful people at the top. Everything in life is a pyramid. There's always, every business is a pyramid. The word pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
But everything in life is a pyramid. There's always somebody at the top with power, controlling people down at the bottom, doing all the work.
There's always more, quote, chiefs than there are, quote, Indians. Or less, quote, chiefs.
Right. That's the way it should be. Now, so in some companies I've seen too many chiefs, not enough Indians, which I believe we just probably get canceled for that, even though I am part Native American.
I'm just saying the saying. I don't, more chiefs than First Nationers. How about that? I wonder what's Snoop Dogg got to say about all this. I feel like Snoop Dogg is the voice of reason in this.
That's a state of society with Snoop.
Dude, yeah, I feel like he would be able to answer all these questions, or they'd be like, "Do you have any details on that?" He'd be like, "No, I never hung out with that motherfucker.
He's busy hanging out with what's her name?
I was busy on the West Coast, holding it down for Long Beach."
But there's always
smoking weed with Martha Stewart.
There's always powerful people at the top. Now, those powerful people at the top, technically, are the Illuminati. And that's just a word, catch-all word being given to people at the top. The Illuminati was a thing, like I said earlier, and we're going to get into that. But powerful groups run the industries, right?
Yeah. I think that's part of the problem with this Illuminati thing now is like just because somebody has a certain level of power, they're automatically Illuminati. And I'm like, or is it just vice versa? Is the Illuminati fucking bullshit now? And just because there's a bunch of billionaires.
Well, and here's the thing, especially when it comes to the music industry, which is what we're going to kind of focus on this evening. People are desperate to be famous.
Hit that share button.
And they will do anything to be famous.
Yeah, look at our dumbasses.
Yeah. So it doesn't take much convincing to get somebody that is striving for fame, wants to be famous, to do some freaky stuff.
True.
It's not that hard. There's not a lot of begging involved. So that is when,
I mean, just look at Lizzo.
Right.
With her cancellation. She's like, oh, be body positive. Fat, big is beautiful. And then she's like, my backup dancer's too motherfucking fat. They need to lose weight or I'm going to send them fuck home. Literally, that's what she did. She's making them fuck each other and play with each other's ginies and wieners and do stuff with sex workers and strippers and shit. And they're like, what?
Right.
Miss, it's about damn time. Fuck off.
But there's a lot of talk about rituals being done.
Now we're getting into the good shit.
Which there is where, the satanic version of this pops its head.
That's what we're all here for. We're here for the dead goats and the butt fucking.
And you can take part in a ritual from my vast studies of this and not even know it.
Sick.
I mean, it's true. And so some of these up and coming stars may be taking part in rituals and they don't know it, because they're dumb as a box of rocks, or they're just so blinded by their desire to reach popularity and fame, they just turn a blind eye to it, which is very possible.
Are we going to talk about magic with a K?
Yeah, technically.
This is such a fucking umbrella fucking episode.
And, here's the thing about controlling people.
Hot.
When you start making people do things, when you get power, whether it be in business or in the music industry or in Hollywood or in your place of employment, it can go to people's head. And it is a intoxicating feeling to get somebody to do something. Like what I was doing right before the show.
Right.
That's a sense of power. Telling people what to do. That can be contagious, and it can be addictive.
Yeah.
And people,
and there's a couple different types of people that do that shit too. You know what I mean? Right. There's the people that is perfectly fine, where it's like, hey, you need to do this, and they're like, no, okay, I'll fucking do it. And I'm not saying that I'm gonna like punch you in the dick or anything like that, but like this isn't a good look. Just so you know. And then there's the people that are like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's like, I'm going to ruin your whole career and your entire family life. I'm going to drag your name through the mud and you'll never work in this industry again.
And so you get to things like the Sean Puppy P. Diddy.
P. Diddler. Did I tell you about the snake guy I watch on YouTube?
No.
The one that was on Ink Master. He was taking comments to change the name. His Puff Adder was named Puffy. And he was like, we got to change his name now, man. The guy went and did all that weird shit, and we don't fuck with that, so leave your name ideas in the comments. I was like, yeah, but it's a puff adder. Like, what else are you going to call it? Cocoa Puffs? Oh,
But when it comes to P. Diddy, it's get these wild parties. Of course, it's going to escalate.
These freak offs.
I'm sure these freak-offs weren't that freaky in the beginning.
Dude, you would think that somebody who's been around the rap industry for like 40 fucking years would be able to come up with a better name than freak-offs. You're supposed to be a wordsmith. Well, I guess not really. Well, okay, even then, you could have asked one of your fucking people to be like, hey, man, I need you to find a really interesting and comical name for these scenarios. What's the scenario? Funny, you should ask.
But
you're about to find out firsthand, Meek Mill.
You would think it didn't start out. Start out as a regular. The first party might have been cool. Alcohol was flowing, probably some drugs.
It was just
got a little wild,
a little drunk, a little high. They're playing spin the bottle, but there's a fucking cattle prod involved with that.
Well, that wasn't the first time. The next time, it escalated a little bit more. Then we started bringing out one bottle of baby oil.
Yeah. And then, 7 minutes in heaven.
Right. And then, 15 years later, you're basically pimping out J-Lo.
God, Diddy's just being a piece of shit the whole time. They're playing 7 minutes in heaven. Everybody's coming out crying. There's no fucking crying in heaven, motherfucker.
But I'm sure every year that passed, every party, that got wilder and wilder. And then it gave him more power.
Well, and he was just gaining more and more money over that time, too.
So it just multiplied and kept getting bigger and bigger to where you have thousands of bottles of lube in your fucking closets.
Not even lube, baby oil.
Baby oil, yes.
What the fuck? Like, you're probably close to a billionaire now. Move up from baby oil.
Right.
What the fuck are you doing? That's like you're basically one step above the 14-year-old kid that's jerking off with his mom's fucking Herbal Essences air conditioner in the shower.
Yeah. So, but
why do you take such long showers? I'm cleaning my room.
But it doesn't take long for people, mainly the fundamentalist Christians, with this type of story to immediately go to ritual because of sex magic. And I've said from jump, I'm down.
With consenting adults when it doesn't fucking hurt people.
You have a sex magic party, I could be down. Go ahead and give me the invite. I'm good.
Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Yeah, I am. I'm not very light, but I'm stiff as a board, babe.
But the old man here is a pitcher, not a catcher.
Let me show you my magic wand.
But
it's a sawed off.
Whenever this starts, the fundamentalist Christians automatically jump to sex magic, Satan. There's a evil man with horns and a pitchfork with a tail in the fucking closet just waiting to ram you in the ass.
All I saw in my head for some reason was like a little magic culty thing with like scantily clad people involved, and there's just some like dude named fucking Greg with like a shitty mustache like eating a Doritos out of a bowl, standing behind this circle of people, and he's like, are we gonna fuck?
But the Christians, the crazy Christians automatically go to Satan.
With anything that goes against their narrative, especially.
Right. It's of the devil if it's not what they believe. And if there's a lot of body orifice juice, nobody's ever said that word on fucking a live stream.
Secretions.
Yes. They're automatically going to a ritual. They're automatically going to a sex ritual. However, maybe people just like sex. I mean, last I checked, it's been a while, but it's kind of fun.
It's pretty all right.
I mean, like what was that show with Stephen Baldwin and Winona Ryder.
I don't know, but were they wittily hitting the gwitty?
Elmer Fudd was in it too, wasn't he? But what was it?
I don't know.
Where
a TV show?
No, it was a movie. Older, like with 90s movie.
Stephen Baldwin?
Not Stephen. Yeah, Steve, the goofy one.
The one from Biodome.
Yes.
The dome within a dome.
Yes. What was it?
And Winona Ryder.
Yeah, it was one of those cult classic type. Kind of like the same era. It's Clerks and all that. Somebody will think of it.
Was it just Stephen Baldwin?
There was some other young actors in it, but anyway, he made one of his lines
Not
in that.
Bottle Rocket, is it? No.
One of those lines in movies. Sex is like pizza. Even bad pizza is still pretty fucking good. And that's true. But they automatically turn this into Satan. I mean, hell, a fundamentalist Christian will tell you manifesting is of the devil. Which, what is manifesting? It's called prayer, bitches. Look it up. So if you do it, it's called prayer. If somebody else does it that maybe is a little bit more agnostic.
Go ahead. I'm just looking for this movie and going, oh, yeah, that one.
It's a satanic ritual.
Yeah.
So keep
Which
your shorts
is
on, kids.
accurate. Wow, he's been in a lot of shitty movies I've never heard of. He was in Half Baked.
No, it wasn't. No, what was the name of that?
Oh, no, I'm not saying that's the one that you're looking for. Sex Monster.
There was actually a movie called Sex Monster.
Yeah, 1999.
Nice.
Peter the Redemption. That doesn't even fucking make sense.
I think it was called Singles.
Singles.
I think.
The Usual Suspects. Threesome. Night Passage.
That's normally my threesomes. The Usual Suspects.
Earthstorm.
I think it was called Singles.
Dark Storm. I'm gonna guess that's connected to Earthstorm. Target. Born on the 4th of July. Sharks in Venice. I don't know. Apparently,
Singles cast.
Apparently, there's been a shitload of Stephen Baldwin movies. Let's see. Matt Dillon, Bridget Fonda, Bill Pullman. I'm not seeing any Stephen Baldwin or Winona Ryder here.
Maybe it wasn't Singles then.
One of those shitty movies,
No, Stephen Baldwin.
Matt Dillon was in Singles, so it might be right.
No, it wasn't Singles then.
Well, there's way too many Stephen Baldwin movies. I'm not going through his entire filmography.
I will look for it later, and I will come back later with it. Where was I at? Now, let's talk about let's dive down the Illuminati, what we think of it today. People always look for symbols and hand gestures and all that shit. Some recognizable symbols associated with the Illuminati is the Eye of Providence, often depicted as an eye with a triangle surrounded by rays of light. Anybody that has a job and has made money,
the dollar bill, y'all,
can see it on top of a pyramid on the back of a dollar. Symbolizes divine watchfulness, guidance, which is not a bad thing. How is that satanic? Divine.
Well, I mean, Lucifer, I believe, is the light bringer in ancient Greek or some shit like that.
I think it's Latin. It means.
Apparently, Latin's for idiots.
It means bringer of light. I believe.
Yeah, so maybe it is, and maybe everything's backwards.
But the Eye of Providence is often considered enlightening or the all-knowing God, which seems good, but throw the word Illuminati in there, they automatically make it bad. The symbols has roots in various cultures and religions, appearing in Christianity and Freemasonry.
Of course, and money.
But it used in the context of the Illuminati is often linked to the Bavarian Illuminati, which is the start of it all.
Love their pretzels.
Yes, I've never had one.
Love their pastries.
Pyramid imagery, which we all know what a pyramid, which symbols the hierarchy, power, or structure of control, which is what I just said. It's powerful at the top and the masses below, holding up the pyramid.
Yes.
That's the way of the world, baby. Interpretations of these symbols in entertainment. We all have seen and heard conspiracy theories talking about the signs of celebrities throughout, like Jay-Z and Beyonce. The diamond. And,
shit.
Are
we dropping frames?
No, I don't think so.
Just being stupid.
This dude's stupid. It happens. But these symbols, and I think, and from my perspective, the symbols, just like the certain symbol, I'm not even sure we can say it anymore, the swastika. Well, it's associated with something now.
You could say swastika.
Which is very negative. It'd be the Nazis.
Yeah.
But it was actually Hindu for, I forget what, but it was positive. But it got co-opted. Now it's bad. Probably the same thing has happened with a lot of these symbols that the Illuminati has, I don't want to say used, but people are associating them with something bad. And Freemasonry, which we'll talk about here in a minute, they all have a literal meaning and what a cultural meaning, I guess, is the easiest way to say it. But what's funny about some of these hand signs and stuff that you'll see pictures of, you take the picture at the right time or freeze frame, go by
freeze frame,
you can get hands in weird motions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, odds are they're not even fucking doing a sign. They're
right.
just
Does that mean
moving
that
their hand from up here to down here and moving their fingers in a certain way? You know,
they're throwing gang signs. Does
How
that
about
mean
that
that
sign?
fucking everybody that drains a 3-pointer in basketball is part of the Illuminati? They do this shit all the time now.
Yeah, we are freezing up.
Yeah, I've noticed. Fuck it.
We didn't do it last week. Oh well, it's all right.
Oh, you know what? We might have to update that software next time. That might be what it is. Fuck it, it'll be all right. We're too far in.
Right, we'll be all right.
Throw in the towel. Scientology and Illuminati is gonna Scientati is gonna come after us.
All of these symbols relay meaning, and most of them are positive, but they get co-opted, and some people just like Adolf Hitler took something good, made it, and it automatically becomes bad. Or Make America Great Again now is bad too. It's of the devil.
I just think politicians in general are of the devil at this point. Especially if they don't get their stupid fucking advertisements off my goddamn streaming services.
Yes. Now,
Sherrod Brown thinks a lot of things are funny. Have you heard that fucking one?
I don't listen to them anymore.
Oh my God, it's awful.
Yes.
Fuck them all. Literally just punch all of them in the fucking dick and give the presidency to some dude named fucking Gerald who does like HVAC in Montana. He'd probably be better off.
Right. The Illuminati is a group of secret and rich, powerful individuals working behind the scenes to interfere and change society through manipulation and occult practices. Happy joy. Sounds like fun. Does the Illuminati exist?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether it's not the Illuminati, it's just...
That's my biggest thing. I just don't like the actual term Illuminati.
Right.
I think it's a throwaway term.
Or it's a catch-all term.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that the music industry has changed over the years.
Apologies for our video.
It's all right. Fuck them. Nobody's watching anyway.
Listen on Spotify. Leave us a review.
Yes.
Hopefully a good one. But,
now,
you know.
Let's dive into a little bit of the history of the Illuminati. The official history of this, it starts in Bavaria during the Enlightenment era society. This is secret societies founded May 1st. Who the fuck writes a date like that? Apparently me. May 1st.
1st of May, 1776. That's how you're supposed to read it, nerd.
Fuck that. May 1st, 1776 in Bavaria, which is today a part of Germany. So all great things come out of Germany.
Volkswagens, Audis, BMWs.
Furnaces. Oh, there's a joke. Their jokes lighten up.
Jesus Christ.
Their stated goals were to oppose superstition and religious influence.
I still think it's funny that to this day, like, the majority of German people either are, like, atheist or they just don't claim any religion. I'm like, that's a fucking good call, guys. I'd leave that one alone for a while, too.
But in 1776, basically, this group that eventually became the Illuminati basically didn't want too much power in religion and too much power with the church and too much power with the state. They didn't want them holding too much power over the masses.
So they were Democrats. Or not
Yes.
Democrats, they were Democratic.
I guess you could say that. Now I'm going.
I don't want to say. I feel like Democrats.
These are European names coming up in the 1700s. So I'm going to fuck these names all up. Adam, I can get. Weishaupt became a professor of canon law and practical philosophy at the University of Ingolstadt, which is the city of Ingo.
That sounds like a fucking. Would you like to touch my Ingolstadt?
He was a non-clerical professor, which this was a religious university. Pope Clement the 14th, I believe that is.
Yes.
Wow, I know my Roman numerals.
Numerals
had dissolved this. Basically, dissolved it in 1773.
Fuck this choppy video. It makes my eyes itch. But we're going to continue. We're going to power through and talk about all these people with weird fucking names.
But basically, the Pope in 1773 kind of said,
fuck you guys.
The school's going to be around, but we're going to, it's not going to be so Christian or Catholic, I guess would be a better
That's
word.
like taking wizardry and witchcraft out of Hogwarts. Yeah. And you just got a big fucking stone building.
However, the Jesuits had all the influence and power of the university still. They continuously tried to frustrate Mr. Adam and the staff that were not of the religious faction.
So they were fucking just poking the bear. They were just being little shits.
So yes, they were being assholes. Bullies, you might say. This frustrated Mr.
Instigators.
They frustrated him, and he became very anti-clerical. He decided to spread the ideas of the Enlightenment through some sort of secret society of like-minded individuals. He felt Freemasonry was too expensive and not open to his ideas. So he said, fuck the Freemasons.
I mean, fair. So he's basically just starting a religion.
Starting a group, a club of like-minded people.
That sounds like the beginnings of a religion to me.
No.
No.
He decided to form his own group with a system of ranks or grades based on those of Freemasonry, but teaching his own thoughts and ideals.
So he's a diet Freemason? Freemasonry zero?
Freemason ripoff.
Freemason adjacent?
Yes.
Discount masonry?
Yes. Very good. He originally named the secret society the Covenant of Perfectibility.
What a stupid fucking name.
I think
fuck this dude.
It rolls off the tongue.
I'm glad he's dead.
He and his 4 followers changed the name to Perfectibilist.
The Covenant of Perfectibility. How many members you got? 4.
Well, you got to start somewhere. I mean, we got 4 viewers.
I'm sorry, but if there's only if including yourself, there's only 5, you don't get to. You are not a secret society.
Yeah,
you're just a club.
Secret.
If the chess club has more members, you are not a society.
But they even had secret code names, like Maverick and Goose and Rooster and Gravedigger.
That's calling that a secret society is like me, like you going into the woods and then stumbling upon me in a cabin and be like, "Welcome to Travis City." Oh, what's the population? You're fucking looking at it.
In April of 1778, the order became the Order of Illuminati.
Was that 5 years later? Ish?
Well, 2. What was it, 76? Yeah, it started in 76.
Okay.
So 2 years later, they said, you know what? The Covenant of Perfectibility just doesn't, it's not gaining no steam. We're going to call it the Order of Illuminati. The law student, Massenhausen, seemed to be the most effective recruiter of the group.
Sounds like a window company.
We were growing, man. We were growing. We went from 4 to 6 to 12. We're getting better. It takes time to build an audience.
Get a free quote on your windows from Massenhausen.
Massenhausen's enthusiasm soon became a liability in the eyes of Weishaupt.
It just automatically sounds more legitimate when you say German things aggressively.
Yes. He felt
Massenhausen!
He felt that he was recruiting unsuitable candidates. Soon after Messenhausen left the order, Xavier von Zwack, whatever the fuck his name is, Xavier, was placed in the leadership role by Weisenhaupt. Zach became the recruiter, and he started recruiting. Zwack.
He just completely gave up on one letter. Zach.
Fuck the W.
You're fucking Zach now. Eat it.
Okay, Wacky. Maybe
Zach.
Let's make the Z silent. Whack started recruiting more mature and important recruits, which is nice. Now there was a transition as soon as the society.
That's lovely.
That's awesome.
You sound like his mom. Mother, we've been
job.
recruiting much better people into the secret society. That's lovely, Zach. Would you like another strudel?
Yeah. As the society grew, they had difficulty stopping the others from joining other secret societies like the Freemasons. Eventually, Weishaupt decided to join the order himself to gather information and expand his rituals.
It's a turf war.
No, not really. He just said, you know what, fuck it, I'll join him. And then
steal their secrets.
And a covert operation, basically.
Some MI6 shit.
Now, and this is where Freemasonry and the Illuminati kind of mingle.
Beat you to it.
And this is my issue. Now, full disclosure, I believe I've said this on the show.
Phil was a cult member.
I was technically, I believe once you are, you always are, but I was a Freemason. I am no longer active. I am, I believe, what they call
defunct.
Not in good standing.
Piece of shit.
Basically, I did not pay my dues.
I wish that was the term. They're like, you have a meeting and you want to go back and like rejoin it. They're like, we are reinstating a piece of shit.
That's pretty much how it goes.
Are you prepared to deal with your repercussions of not being in good standing? Yes. What are they? You owe us $14.65 plus a $3 charge for your parking pass.
Basically, how it works. You know, if Freemasonry, and I left for my own reasons. I mean, I didn't leave. I just quit paying and quit going for my own reasons.
So you're saying Freemasonry in today's world is like Netflix?
I just said fuck it. It wasn't auto-deducted. I said, I ain't paying. No.
You just got a new bank account, and then you didn't have to worry about that Planet Fitness membership anymore.
Freemasonry isn't what people think it is.
Most things aren't.
Here, how can I say it? But if Freemasonry was as what people think it was and what you read on the internet, sounds like a party to me. I'd pay more of a dude. I'd pay more than they wanted me to.
Well, and plus, like, it's so vast that you think if it was what a lot of people tend to say or think that it is, you think that we wouldn't fucking know it. And there's so many Freemasons. They're fucking everywhere.
And here's the thing. People are scared of secret societies, and they think just because you're a secret society, you have secrets.
Nobody has a problem with fucking fraternities and shit.
Right, and which is basically all Freemasonry is.
Yeah.
Now, has Freemasonry done some shady shit?
Probably.
There was a lodge out of, I believe, Italy that did some shady shit.
You say Italy?
Italy. That did some shady shit, but it wasn't Freemasonry. It was the members. The members of it. And in every group, you're going to have some assholes.
Yeah.
But people don't understand Freemasonry. This, like, you hear somebody say, oh, he was a 32nd degree Mason. Oh, he must have been a part of the secret organization.
I don't even know how many fucking degrees there are, so I don't even know what that fucking, like, the line that crosses into being like, oh, shit.
Well, and I'll explain it to you here in a minute. And here's the thing. Freemasonry might be one of the worst kept secrets of all time. It's not secret. It's just certain things are not told. Mm-hmm. And I always put it like this. If you had a code to get in your house, you're not going to give the code to everybody. Right?
Yeah.
You're going to keep that code secret because you want what goes on in your house.
I see where you're going with this.
What happens is...
That does not necessarily mean that just because you have a lock on your house that there's fucking, like, body parts everywhere and fucking cages with small children in the basement.
Right. And the people that think, oh, well, they have secret handshakes and all that shit.
So do fucking athletes.
Yes. Or, secret words and all that shit. Basically, that is the code to get in the house. You're not going to give somebody your code. That is the only thing a Freemason cannot say about Freemasonry.
Right.
Are those certain... There's 3 or 4 things they can't say or do or reveal. But, people hear the word 32nd degree Mason and think, oh, that's 32. That means they must be really high up. And people have always said that, well, those bottom tier Masons, like a third degree Mason, of course they're not going to know the secrets because they're only a 3rd degree Mason. They're not a 32nd. Guess what, kids? I was a 32nd degree Mason.
How many degrees are there?
And here's the thing. There's only 3 technical degrees in Freemasonry. The highest degree is the 3rd degree. And once you become a 3rd degree Mason, that is technically the highest. However, there is extra credit. And that is in the Scottish Rite or the York Rite. Two different things. One's Scottish and one's British. And they have different degrees above.
Good job shoveling the parking lot. 32nd degree
So-
Mason.
So you can either choose to do one or you could do both if you want. You don't have to do either. However, I will say this. There are 33... I was a 32nd degree Scottish Rite Mason for a short amount of time.
You're a Scotsman.
I didn't pay those dues either because they want separate dues. Fuck you expensive fuckers. So I don't know much about the York Rite because I didn't do that. I did the Scottish Rite.
The Bloods and Crips type thing.
Right. Pretty much.
It's on sight when I see them motherfuckers.
So there is 33 degrees in the Scottish Rite, 4 through 33.
So what you're saying is you're a 32nd, but if you were to go back and become the 33rd degree,
No.
you would then transform into a demon
Yes.
fit to rule the world.
Yes. But the 33rd degree is just like a Lifetime Achievement Award. It's not even a degree, I believe.
It's like the biggest participation award you get.
Pretty much. And 32nd degree is not any higher than a 3rd degree. 3rd degrees, you have to be a 3rd degree for everything. And here's the thing. You've heard of the Shriners, right?
Yeah.
See, I was a Shriner too.
With the little hats.
With little hats. Had one at one time. But I didn't pay those dues either. Fuck
Did you ever
them.
drive the little cart?
No. I was only a Shriner for about
Poser.
a month and a half.
What's the point?
But
I mean, isn't that originally like the main point of that, like for like the children's hospital and
right.
shit?
And that's the only reason I joined, which I ended up about the time I joined that I became kind of disgruntled with the fraternity and and at the time you had to be a 32nd degree Mason. You either had to do your Scottish Rites or York Rites to become a Shriner. I don't know if it's still like that anymore. It might be. I don't know.
Interesting.
So,
Shut up.
and people automatically think that 32nd degree mean, ooh, that's where they keep the Holy Grail and shit like. No. And it's not overly. I will say this: Freemasonry is not religious. I'll correct this. The normal lodge is not religious. Not religious based. Well, it is, but it's not overly religious. You can believe in any. You just have to believe in a God. Like that's why a Muslim can become a Freemason, Hindu. Whatever, as long as you believe in a creator, you're good. And I've never asked this. I thought about asking, what about if you're a Satanist?
That'd throw a wrench in it.
I mean, theoretically,
Potentially.
you believe in something. You just can't be you can't be an atheist and be a Freemason. You have to believe in a creator, basically.
What if you're like a universalist?
The universe is something.
Like, hey man, the Big Bang is just as concrete as God. far as I'm concerned.
I will say this: there was no hookers doing blow off hookers' asses at any meetings.
No ceremonial daggers being brought out to plunge into the esophagus of a goat.
Not even alcohol.
After party?
I mean, you can go to a bar afterward, but no alcohol.
Do they have bars?
What, inside?
Like how there's like the Moose Lodge and shit like that?
There's no alcohol in.
No, I'm saying, but like, is there like a lodge
Either,
drinking
I believe,
facility that?
Like I said, I think the Scottish Rites are played by a little bit, and the Shriners. The Shriners do. The Shriners are a bunch of drunks. That's all about drinking. God love them. But in the actual Freemasonry Lodge, the first 3 degrees.
You drunk yet, Ted? Let's go drive little cars for kids.
There is no alcohol allowed to be drank on the property. At least that's the way it was when I was in.
So it's not like there's not like a biker bar, but for Freemasons.
Nope, not. There might be somewhere, but I don't know.
Or like
where they go afterwards.
Somebody walks in with like a fucking like anything else other than Freemason shit, like a Kroger vest, and they're like, "Fuck, you doing here?"
So, but everybody talks about the Freemasons as, oh, they're into some shady shit. Maybe,
probably,
but it's not. Well, it's not Freemasonry. It's a person inside Freemasonry,
right? Like Freemasonry is huge. There probably are members and have been members that are parts of shady deals and mass conglomerates and
probably use their
have
influence,
huge power and shit. But that doesn't mean fucking everybody does.
Use their influence to do something not so good.
Yeah, and the only way I could see Freemasonry being fucking wrapped into that is if there was 2 people involved in a shady deal or some shit like that, and they're both like, "Oh, hey. Hell yeah. You too, huh?"
Now, so he basically, Weisenhaupt joined the Freemasons to kind of scout out the competition and get some ideas of their degrees. He went through the 3 degrees of Freemasonry. However, the ritual information he wanted was in the higher extra rites of Freemasonry, which we just talked about. And he didn't want to go through that time, which is not that hard. To be honest with you, the first 3 is much harder. Knowing that he needed to go deeper, they decided to form their own lodge.
Yeah, fuck it.
Well, here's the way it works. Everything has to. The Bavarian Lodge, from what I read this and understand it, was separate from the Grand Lodge of England. So basically, and like every Freemason lodge in the United States has basically a charter.
Oh, ow. Oh, shit. So they're like the Sons of Anarchy.
Kind of. I mean, yeah, you have to be sanctioned by the Grand Lodge in England.
Did you get a cool vest?
No. A vest? No.
That'd be way cooler than that fucking a decal and a license plate frame to put on your car.
Yes. So basically, what he basically did was went to the Grand Lodge of England, which is the Grand Poobah Lodge.
Literally?
Yeah, that's the big lodge.
That's what it's called?
No.
Oh. Fuck.
That'd be awesome if it did. And say, hey, I want my own charter.
That'd be so impossible. Be like, "You've reached the Grand Poobah. What can we do for you?" And everybody just, never mind.
So he went to the Grand Lodge, and they wanted to be chartered and be sanctioned with that lodge, with the Grand Lodge out of England. And they would call the lodge Theodore of the Good Counsel.
What a stupid fucking
name. There
are
some weird fucking names, I will say that. So this lodge was basically full of Illuminati members. The lodge needs independence. Oh, that's right. It was the Grand Lodge. The original lodge they joined was out of the Grand Lodge of Prussia.
That's a much better name.
Then there's the Grand Lodge of England. It's like every lodge in the United States is chartered through the Grand Lodge of England, naturally because
they all have their own name.
Yeah, every lodge has its own name.
Does it have a name? Is that the basic setup for it? How it's
No.
like Theodore of the Good Counsel? Is it like a name?
Some do, but most of it nowadays it's more of the city that it's located in.
Welcome to the Lodge of Martin of the Small Dicks.
Like Cincinnati of the Over the Rhine. No.
Really?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, that's so fucking
But
stupid.
generally it'll be like in the city, like if it's in Dayton, the Dayton something lodge. And it'll have some kind of
I'd just pick a mascot.
Like, say, for this, their lodge was Theodore of Good Counsel. It'd be like, say, Dayton Council Lodge. There is kind of a name, but in all lodges, but it generally has a part of the town that's in. So this new charter basically gave them independence, and merging with England enabled them to form a new lodge of their own and kind of dictate what they wanted to do. Why? This didn't last very long because apparently they got bored. They were like me, said, fuck this bullshit. Why did the Illuminati, and I have to say that, I actually respect, I got out for a specific reason. It wasn't because of what they did, or I still believe in the philosophies. And basically, the Freemasonry isn't nefarious in any way. It just basically wants to make you a better fucking human being.
Right.
And how to treat people and put other people, especially lodge members, above yourself. But nobody goes above your family,
your country,
or your lodge members. But it's about the charitable. They're very charitable. They do the charitable work. So I believe in the tenets and philosophies of it.
Right.
It's just kind of I don't want to say politics. It's just.
But do they involve the 7 ancestral tenets?
No, there's no eating of liver.
So Liver King's not a Freemason?
He might very well be. May very well be.
I doubt it. I think he's crazy.
But the Illuminati did not last long. It did disband. The Bavarian Illuminati faced an increasing opposition from authorities in the late 1780s. That was the main reason why it disbanded. The government crackdown. Duke Karl Theodor of Bavaria, who ruled over the region, issued edicts outlawing secret societies, which included the Freemasons. The Bavarian government viewed these organizations as a threat to the existing political and religious order. Of course it did.
Fair.
The authorities began investigating and suppressing the groups. Now, there was also church pressure. The Catholic Church does not like secret societies, other than, I believe there's one kind of, they have their own, was it the Knights of Columbus? Something like that.
I don't fucking know.
Was highly influential in Bavaria, and they did not like the Illuminati because the Illuminati was more anti-clerical, to where Freemasonry isn't overly religious. The higher up you go, like what I talked about in the Scottish Rites, it is a little bit more religion-based, but there's still, like I said, you have to believe in a creator. So there is some religion, but it's not taught, basically. It's not like you got to read the Bible and somebody preaches to you.
Yeah. There's not as many, as strict
God.
of a guideline.
Right.
Got it.
But the Illuminati was because of the start of his time at the university, he was basically picked on by the Jesuits. He did not like the clerical people of the world. So the Illuminati in its essence was very anti-clerical. I would assume not anti-religion, but anti-church, basically. Excuse me. The church saw the Illuminati's ideas as a danger to the religious and moral foundations of society. Pretty much the same thing today, really. And they lobbied the government to take actions against secret societies. Now, this all going on, there were internal conflicts, naturally a power struggle. Some members of the group, including prominent intellectuals, began to question the direction of the leadership of Mr. Adam Weishaupt. As always, government overreaches and started to expose the Illuminati. They did a series of raids, gathered documents detailing the group's goals and activities were seized and made public, which basically is like somebody coming in and reading your diary. Mm-hmm. Just because you write something down, your inner thoughts, doesn't mean you're going to do it. I could be thinking I want to put honey on my nipples and light a fire.
And we all know that you do.
It's not Thursday yet. That's on Thursdays.
I mean, yeah,
so there might have been some.
I feel like there's some credence to that thought process, but not. It's not bulletproof.
Right, but I don't know exactly. I didn't dive in to see exactly what the document said, but I'm sure there was some talk about. that can be construed as taking over.
Yeah.
Just remember the fact of trying to spread your ideas of good, or what? I'm
trying to overthrow religion.
Yeah, maybe
Or replace it.
Or
although I mean, was there anything in there worse than the murder of the firstborn son?
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't.
Riddle me that.
But basically, whatever exactly was in those documents caused the public and the government to say, "Whoa, let's pump the brakes. These guys are dangerous."
Bad. New thing. Bad. Scary.
So basically, these efforts caused the destruction and disbanding of the secret society.
Or did it?
By 1787, the Bavarian Illuminati had effectively been dissolved due to all these factors. Weishaupt fled into exile, and from most of the group's members either renounced their ties to the organizations or went underground. So therein lies the question: did the Illuminati completely disappear?
Obviously not.
Probably.
I mean, let's be realistic. No group that we know of ever fully disappears.
It's like
realistically.
It's like, fuck, I'm drawing a blank now. The Crusaders, or what was the Knights Templar.
Mm.
Now, the Knights Templars there are some people believe the Knights Templar have roots in Freemasonry. That maybe Freemasonry kind of took in the Knights Templars and adopted some of their...
Are you about to tell me that Tom Hanks lied to me?
I don't know. Maybe. But...
You can tell me that the Da Vinci Code is not a nonfiction book?
I don't know. But, it's possible that, the Knights Templar kind of maybe created Freemasonry or Illuminati. But it's very possible that the Illuminati continued underground. I mean, if you're getting exiled, and just like the Knights Templar, when they went underground, they all didn't die on, which most people don't realize. That's why Friday the 13th is said to be bad luck, because it was a Friday the 13th when the king of, I believe, France decided to kill all the Templars. Yeah. That's why Friday the 13th is not good. I guess.
The movie or...
No, the movie's not good either, but that's why it's considered bad luck or bad day.
Ever tell you that I turned 13 on Friday the 13th and I was sick?
Do.
I was fine the day before. It was weird. I was like legitimately sick too. Not like I want to skip school because it's my birthday sick. So maybe there's something to all this nonsense.
Here's the thing about secret societies and Illuminati is no different, and even Freemasonry or whatever.
They're stupid.
No, it's a way of thinking. It's not really a group. You think, like what I said earlier, it's people that were like-minded coming together.
Mm.
It's a way of thinking. So does it ever really die?
And then could it not also be wrangled into the conversation of brainwashing?
Nah, depends on who you... See, no, not necessarily.
I think that just depends on the ideals.
Here's the thing. If you're preaching, I can see it. But, I don't know what it takes to get into the Illuminati, if it's still a thing. But, it's not necessarily easy to get into the Freemasonry. It is, but it isn't. They don't advertise. They don't come to you.
Right.
You have to go to them. So is it really brainwash?
Like the special forces of social clubs.
Kind of. And I would assume the Illuminati is the same way, I would think. I don't know. Maybe they were recruiting, so obviously not. But to become a Freemason, no, they're not going to, I wouldn't say very rarely, but I have seen billboards.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And, but it's not really, but there's a certain thing you have to do,
There's a certain handshake you got to do to get in the front door.
You got to, it's like to be on this show. You want to be on the show? You got to ask us.
Traditionally.
Yeah.
Is there a secret handshake?
Oh, there's all kinds of secret handshakes.
For the Freemasons?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Fuck yeah.
Cool. It's automatically slightly cooler now.
All kinds of secret shit. It's actually hard to remember.
People do that, and they're like, "Oh, Aaron Judge does a Freemason handshake," and it's just like fucking coincidence.
It'd be hard to do it.
He said, "Oh no, I've never seen an athlete stick their thumb up their ass."
It's kind of they're kind of like what you see on like, what was it? The Jets when they did Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
You know how
like everybody has a
yeah. It's like that, man.
Or like Undercover Brother.
Yeah.
When you remember that? When they like went into the black secret agent room and like that fucking fake arm came out and he had to do the fucking make up a handshake and he was like, "So confirmed."
Yeah. I mean that is one of the like 3 things you can't give away as a Freemason.
Don't give away the handshake. I don't even fucking remember it, John.
I'm trying to think. I forget how many there are. There are a few, actually.
Interesting.
And
of course there is.
I can only remember one that I know.
You can't be in a club without secret handshakes.
No, but where was I at on these fucking notes? The underground. So they did go under. But like I'm saying, it's a way of thought. So that thought that those people that went underground or disavowed their allegiance,
people.
They still thought the same way.
Mole people.
So it's not that hard of a jump or to say that they actually kind of included.
Is the Illuminati the mole people?
I don't know, maybe.
Well, we're cracking cases in this motherfucker.
And I'm sure.
You heard it here first. When dudes doing secret handshakes start coming up out of the ground and telling you what to do, you're welcome.
So, and we know the Illuminati of this group, or the original Illuminati, did infiltrate the Freemasons. So they probably, when they went underground,
which doesn't sound too horrifically difficult.
Right. It's not,
what I'm saying?
It's not that far of a leap. And
we're not talking about fucking Mission Impossible here.
But this is why the Illuminati and the Freemasons are always so linked.
Because they literally kind of
They are. They're your members. I mean, especially
whether it was voluntary on both ends or not.
I mean, how many people have belonged to different clubs? It's not like a gang or a MC where you can only be a member of one. I guess. I mean,
so what you're saying is this is Freemasonry and the Illuminati is the prison of secret societies. How like you could be from different gangs on the streets, but once you're in prison, it's all for one. Just based on the color of your skin, unfortunately.
Right.
Depending on the state you're in.
But it's not that far of a, I can see, and even I believe George Washington, who is arguably probably one of the most famous Freemasons, and I will tell you this, he very rarely ever went to a lodge.
Why would you? You're fucking George Washington. Fuck that.
He wasn't the most.
He's like, bitch, I'm the president. I shall not go to your stupid fucking lodge. If you guys want my opinion, you can come to my fucking house.
I mean, I believe Ben Franklin was a much more active Freemason than George. Maybe. I don't know.
He had cooler hair.
Oh, absolutely. I loved his glasses. And he had balls, flying kites with...
keys on them?
Yeah, and lightning storms.
Yeah.
Now...
Was Lincoln a Freemason?
I don't know. I forget. I think there's been 7 or 8 presidents.
That we know of?
I think Ford was.
That reads.
Truman. Eisenhower?
That reads. Roosevelt? Teddy?
I used to know them
It
all.
is Roosevelt that there's 2 of them, right?
Yeah. Theodore and Franklin.
What a popular name.
I know Gerald Ford was. I think it was Truman. I don't think it was Eisenhower. Truman, actually, I will say this. There's a very. I might get. I don't think I'll get in trouble for telling the story.
How would you get in trouble?
Maybe it was. I forget.
Are they gonna come for you?
What are they gonna do?
You owe us that $15, or we're gonna be real mad at you.
Yeah, I forget. Maybe it was. Maybe it was Eisenhower. Anyway, one of the presidents was actually the acting president, and he served in the war. In the war, one of his soldiers, or that he served in the war, that was under him during the war, was going through his degree work, Master Mason.
Mm-hmm.
And so he invited the president. They were. He was his commander.
Yeah.
And I guess they still chatted, and and the Secret Service. He invited him to come to the lodge for his ceremony, we'll call it.
Mm.
And he said, "I'll be
for his spanking."
He said, "I'll be there," and he showed up.
Oh, good for him.
And he went to go into the lodge to partake in this and view this ceremony, which is it's cool. And the Secret Service were stopped. It said,
Well, yeah,
you can't come in.
yeah,
And the Secret Service says he's not going in. And I believe, like I said, I'm pretty sure it was Truman. Turned and said, "I'm safer in here than I am out here with you. I'm safer in here with these men than I am with you out here.
You can't help me here. Fuck off, Chad."
But that's what, to me, what Freemasonry is.
Could you imagine how awkward that relationship could have got if he didn't show up?
Well,
and then, like, 2 weeks later, you're in battle, and that guy gets fucking shot in the stomach.
No, this is after the war.
Oh,
it was well after the war.
Damn.
And he was already he was president.
Yeah.
So
it would have been way more interesting. Like 2 weeks later, the guy gets shot in the stomach in the fucking middle of a battle, and he's dying on the ground. And he walks up to him, and he's like, "I don't think you're going to make it." Or actually, that's really realistic. He probably talked like a fucking douche. He's like, "I don't think you're going to make it out of this one. It's bleeding pretty bad." He's like,
all right.
"Why didn't you come to my ceremony?" He's like, "Oh, well, I had some stuff to do. I had to let the dog out. I forgot my good shoes. I'm very sorry." He's just dying slowly.
Okay, now let's get into...
I had to feed my neighbor's fish.
Now let's get into, is the Illuminati taken over or a big part of the entertainment industry or the music industry?
Does this...
What?
Preface to this, just because it's a thought, does the Illuminati, since you're the one that researched this, does this Illuminati thing have any crossover with the whole entertainment industry and Judaism theory? Or are they kind of like two ends of the spectrum?
I would say two ends. I think it's a catch-all, honestly.
What, the entertainment industry as a whole?
Oh, no, the Illuminati. It's probably...
You're saying they're probably
any
one
power...
and the same
right.
when anybody talks about it.
Any power, they're saying, is Illuminati. And I'm sure there's different groups of power at the top.
Right.
The
I don't
is,
think the Illuminati has a religious fucking restriction.
Right. Now, This is the conspiracy theory that the Illuminati controls, basically, I'm going to say, the music industry. Excuse me. For the mere fact of...
Because Diddy.
Well, the rituals, the weird... Some of the weird stuff that goes on in some of these performances... have been said are rituals type stuff. The imagery,
like Rihanna's dress,
the possible, the Diddy,
the Diddy,
the Diddy, the sex parties, which could be sex magic, doing and ritualistic, and we've all heard of the sacrifices. It was a story about the Lady Gaga. One of her friends jumped off the roof, and the conspiracy theorists will say that was a sacrifice. She had to do that for her to get famous. It was before she was famous. And
go ahead.
This other girl was just as talented, probably from what I've heard, was more talented than her.
There's a government conspiracy around Brittany Murphy's death.
They think that she could have been there's other people that think, not government, that was a sacrifice as well.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
Who is it? Kanye's mom. When he started going off the rails, there are some people who believe that was a ritual sacrifice that he owed. That he owed for his fame, and they came and collected.
Apparently, they're saying he's one of the top 5 people that have just kind of disappeared from the country since this Diddy shit popped off. It's like him, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and a couple other musicians.
I will
remember
say,
who.
If Beyonce was involved, I might go to the party. I might take my turn.
I don't know, man. I hope they televise the court case, the trial.
Well, he's never going to make it a trial.
Be interesting though. Like the judge, the Supreme Court judge, is just like, Mr. Combs, you're a prolific musician and a predator of the highest degree. You've spent how many years in the music industry, and look where you found yourself, even though you had a platform to help people and to bring people up in this world, but instead you drove them down and you hurt them. Right. So to this sentencing, I say, do a diddy dumb diddy life. Fuck you.
We're going to have to speed this up. We are going long here. Damn it. Where was I at? Now, many people have observed, and I can't disagree with it, that let's focus on the music industry, has taken a bit of a darker turn over the years. I mean, I would say from Mozart to Marilyn Manson, yeah, it's a much darker turn. How much is that society-based, or how much is that the maybe darker energies have taken over?
Yeah.
That is the question. It's more obvious in hip-hop here recently. You can look at a much smaller sample size.
You can talk about fucking Lil Nas X.
Well, we can. I wasn't going to, but we can.
He's a big one.
If you look
at other people, I don't give a fuck.
If you look at hip-hop's origins, the early days of hip-hop, what was it? It was more uplifting, more...
Yeah, it was a Sugar Hill Gang and shit.
Right. It was positivity.
Don't stop a rocket.
But starting in the mid to late 80s, fucking Ice Cube and Dr. Dre.
Gangster rap
came along. It took a darker turn. It started to be
angrier.
Bitches and hoes and, drive-bys and fuck the police. The subject matter changed. Now, they say they were street reporters. Well, which you can't disagree. That's what they were seeing.
And you could almost argue that a lot of it was like more of a change of delivery. You know what I'm saying? Because you still had like Grandmaster Flash, broken glass everywhere. People there was still people talking about the shitty shit that they go through in the inner city.
KRS-One,
But the delivery did shit. Wa-da-da-lang, wa-da-da-lang.
But even like Public Enemy,
Slept on group.
Public Enema.
That's how you get into the Freemasons, ladies and gentlemen.
It was a little darker, but it was more political.
Yeah, Public Enemy's the shit.
But, then you had, but to where now look, and every year it kind of just, it goes more negative.
To the point that you now have people like fucking Young Thug having their lyrics used against them in trials.
Right. So there is a darker turn. Now, the question is, was this done on purpose?
Is it shitty environment, or is it to feed the greater fucking
negativity of the world? You listen, and here's the thing about music. Music, and we talked about this earlier. Music affects everybody. Mm-hmm. You're feeling a certain way, it'll affect the type of music you listen to, and if you're feeling another way, you listen to a different type of music, it'll be uplifting. Or, some people are feeling down, they'll listen to down, lower monotone music or more depressing type lyrics.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're preaching to the choir. I listen to certain types of audio tracks when I go to sleep.
Like what you're talking about, going to the gym.
Yeah.
You don't want to listen to, I don't know,
Simon and Garfunkel.
Right.
How many roads must a man?
When you're throwing up $1.85.
When you take a piss.
Yeah. You want something a little bit that moves you a little bit more, gets the blood pumping.
Yeah, like I say all the time, I either listen to like really heavy fucking metal or I listen to like super gangster rap.
But you can be in a really shitty mood or really depressed mood, and you could listen to something, and it could bring you out of that.
Yeah, like if you put on fucking Jump Around in any mood, you're gonna feel better.
Because I came to get down.
Just jump out your seat, just jump around, or like Insane in the Brain. Like I can't not sit there and be like insane in the brain if that fucking song comes on.
So it affects your mood.
Yeah,
That's by I want to say by design, but that's what the effect music has on you. And just like there is the devil's chord, and frequency, and
the trichord.
Right. And there's a reason why most horror scores of movies are written in a minor key. Because it's more, darker,
Yeah.
So
that's why you don't hear a lot of like instruments that you hear in horror movie scores in a lot of music.
Right.
Or like a lot of just notes in general, like you said, like the trichord. Until Sabbath did it, and everybody was like, "Oh no!"
So you can't affect an individual's mood, what they're thinking, what they're feeling with music.
Mm-hmm.
How far-fetched is it for the powerful elite? Let's don't use the word Illuminati at this particular time.
Those in charge.
To say, hey, if we can affect people's mood, get them to feel a certain way, we can affect society as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Just for instance, fuck the police.
Yeah.
That's, what was that, 87, 88?
And it's just gotten increasingly more popular of an idea.
Yes. Over the years, it's just built and built and built.
I don't think that it's... I don't know. It's weird because 100% yes, it could do that. But at the same time, for me personally, I do kind of follow the thesis that it's just like music just reciprocates the mood and the aura from which it is written. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just like if Ice Cube grew up in a 4-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom house in the suburbs, he probably would not have had a lot of the opinions that he had in his music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like, does it affect people? Yeah. I just think a lot of that, I think, it just comes down to how much willpower a person has to allow something like that to affect them.
But here's the thing. We all know how the brain, well, not everybody knows how the brain works. The brain basically...
Because mine doesn't.
Looks for patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And it uses those patterns to help you take in the world around you.
Like those left brain, right brain images and shit. And
it's always deciphering. You can be you don't remember a third, I think, or not, I don't know what the number is, of what you see during the day. Mm-hmm. Because your brain doesn't allow, that we don't need that.
You can only focus on so much.
We don't need that piece of information. We're just going to let that go.
Which is where all the ghosts are.
Right. But it looks for patterns to help us take in the world, to understand the world, to understand our emotions, to understand it a lot. Music is just patterns, rhythmic patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So our brain is deciphering these and putting them in conjunction to give us an overall opinion or feeling or whatever. So, of course, they can use that to their advantage, to guide. Nobody can completely change society.
Yeah.
You can only push in the right direction.
Well, and,
subtle hints.
And that's a perfect example of like, it's usually not even the lyrics that stick in your mind initially. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it speaks to the pattern seeking nature of the human brain, because it's, like I said, it's not usually the lyrics that you remember off rip. Mm-hmm. Like if it's a dope rap song, you remember like that one hook or that really dope beat, or like for me and metal, I'm like, wow, that one fucking song with that sick breakdown where he's just woof, and then like, you know what I mean? And then you you listen to the song over and over again because you like the overall scope of the song, and then the lyrics and the idea or the the mission of the song, if you will, then start to stick in your mind.
Right.
And I mean, it just works like that.
Yeah. No.
Like, I had a fucking NWA lyric written on my wall when I was in high school. Like, next to, like, a Sublime logo that I drew on my wall. Just fucking mix it up.
Right. Now, what is the music label's role in this?
The devil.
Now, could this be what people say, the Illuminati or the elite? It's just the music industry itself. Each label, all these different labels, which aren't as powerful now as what they used to be, but
because of YouTube and shit,
they all know each other. They all talk to each other.
Well, and I think the power of the record labels is understated now, because everybody's like, oh, independent, da 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 da. I'm like, yeah, but a lot of these people, these artists might not have a contract, but a lot of them are, in a way, I don't want to say bankrolled, but in a way non-contractually backed by a lot of large-scale record companies.
Very few people in the world can get famous
without them.
Yeah. And there's somebody behind even YouTube. Somebody has to get behind them and push a channel.
Diddy. He just took it to a literal point.
Push it hard. But so the music label will get behind, they can make people famous.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you can take.
So
they can make somebody who's absolute trash famous for at least a small period of time.
This is one way. We're going to talk about another way in a little
Shakira.
bit. Bite your fucking tongue.
I'm sorry, her songs weren't good.
She could shake that ass, and that's all.
She could, but
that's
her songs
all
were
that
good.
fucking mattered. Damn it! I don't give a fuck. I did not hear her. I just saw her.
Like a good woman.
I tuned her out.
I'm kidding, by the way. Go on. Record labels.
I would eat cottage cheese out of her ass, and I don't even like cottage cheese.
It wouldn't even be cottage cheese. It'd just be something that resembled it that was already there.
Anyway, so there are things that the music industry have reportedly done that has changed some things. The frequency in which they record, I believe, the hertz, they changed it. They dropped it. I think it was to 4.4 or 4.23. One of which you wouldn't know just by listening to it.
Yeah.
However, if you're familiar with the paranormal, infrasound affects people.
Yeah.
It can make you don't hear it, but you can feel it.
Yeah.
Same concept.
Which is like those tracks that I listen to when I go to sleep.
Right.
Like there'll be different hertz, and different wavelengths are to achieve different things. Some of them are to fall asleep fast. Some of them are supposed to help you dream more.
Right. Recovery and health. Yeah.
I don't know that they work, but I mean, it seems to put me to sleep at least.
So they messed with the frequency or the hertz. They changed it, which for no apparent reason. Why did they do that? Was it to start changing society a little and pushing society in a direction? We've all heard of the hidden messages in music. Stairway to Heaven.
Or what was it? Was it Chicago and Little Nicky?
I don't remember.
Where he just fucking grabbed it and started going. He said, "In the name of Lucifer, spill the blood of the innocent." And he's like, "Oh shit, dude, Chicago rules."
But that was part of my era. Stairway to Heaven. I remember that shit. Played that shit backwards.
That song's forbidden in many ways.
Yes.
It's forbidden to be played in guitar shops.
But here's the thing about the playing shit backwards. It's like ghost hunting and EVPs.
Yeah.
You will hear something just because
your brain's going to look for something.
You want to hear something, and you will connect some dots that should not be connected.
Yeah, your brain's not looking for it's looking to make those sounds into something that it knows.
Right now,
which worked for Bob Dylan.
I think the hertz and frequency thing is more likely than somebody putting hidden music or hidden agendas in a back to where you play it backwards.
Yeah.
Who takes the fucking... For one, you can't play shit
Yeah, nobody's rewinding a record.
Not anymore.
It's not. There's no Be Kind rewind with a fucking vinyl.
Now there is some people. I don't know if you ever heard of the Tavistock Institute. It is a British research and consulting organization specializing in how people behave in groups and organizations. Now, the group has been linked to social engineering and by conspiracy theorists to groups like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. Did they use both bands to shape culture, which we know both of those bands have, just not those two.
And they're both very much linked to all of this shit.
Now, this isn't an uncommon idea. There's people that have linked the Grateful Dead to the CIA to push the psychedelic agenda.
See, but I feel like you should hear more about Michael Jackson and all this. Because everybody talks about, like, the Beatles and, like, John Lennon being an inside job and all this other shit. But, like, fucking, like, I just saw a video of, I don't remember who it was, but, like, look at Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson bought the goddamn Beatles. Where was his involvement in all this if all this is true? You know what I mean?
Well, he bought them after the fact. We're talking about when they...
Well, because he made a song with Paul McCartney.
Yeah, but that was the Beatles...
You ever hear that story?
No, but the Beatles were done by then.
Yeah.
The Beatles broke up.
He essentially asked Paul McCartney how much he would possibly sell the Beatles masters and rights to the Beatles for. And he was like, oh, at least it'd have to be at least $60 million. And then, like, Michael Jackson bought them from Sony.
Yeah.
And he was like, what are you doing, Michael? He's like, oh, well, you said you wanted $60 million. I gave you 64. Like, so, I mean, he paid him more, I guess. But, and also with all the kid diddling and all that shit, allegations, like, I just feel like I haven't personally seen a lot of shit about Michael Jackson in connection to this type of shit, which blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean...
He was, like, the biggest recording artist in the world for a long time.
I mean, whether you like Michael Jackson or not.
His songs are bops.
Eh.
Not the popular ones. My shit's like PYT and, like, Man in the Mirror and shit. Those are the ones I'm like...
After Thriller, you lost me after Thriller.
When did PYT come out? Because that's my jam.
I mean, that wasn't bad. He was progressively getting worse, like everybody else. The older you get, the worse you get.
The whiter he got, the worse he got.
The whiter he got. That's the story of my life.
He was whitewashed in many ways.
But anyway, the CIA... but this whole thing isn't uncommon. The CIA has been doing shit to...
influence the masses.
Yes. Construct society in their way. If you think about it, the CIA, if these conspiracy theories are true, the CIA was funding the psychedelic movement, supplying the fucking drugs, which went to the hippie movement.
Which then just rolled over into the crack epidemic.
Well, but here's the thing. The CIA, there's those that believe the CIA was... The hippie movement was something that got away from them. So they used... People that believe that they used the Manson family to... And those murders...
To fuck that all up.
To...
Put a kibosh to it.
Yes, to make people afraid of the hippies and kind of hopefully to dilute it a little bit.
It makes sense.
So, it's not uncommon.
It reads.
We know the government pushes society in a way. And you've always heard the term of who's really in control. Mm-hmm. The government. We know the government doesn't run the United States of America. Big business.
Insurance companies do.
The big business and industrial complex run America. Mm-hmm. The government's just a formality.
Yeah, we're just given this false sense of power because we get to vote.
Oh, it's free. We'll skip all this shit.
We pretty much just talked about all of it.
Now, here's where the satanic... This is kind of interesting, especially in today's society. Everybody talks about, the Super Bowl show, the Grammy performances. Mm-hmm. I mean, some of them are pretty fucking weird. Like, I remember the Sam Smith performance of Unholy. Mm-hmm. That looked a little fucking demonic to me.
Yeah.
But was that just for show?
Yeah.
Or maybe he's practicing Satanists. I don't give
Or like we said, Lil Nas X. He's got a music video where like I'm pretty sure he portrays the devil.
And he's got the one with the blood in the shoes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the 666 and all that shit.
Right.
Yeah. On a pair of shoes that they made 666
now,
of.
are
And everybody's
these-
like all up fucking in arms because the gay rapper has devil shoes.
Right. Do these people really practice this?
Or do they just know how to fucking sell?
Push buttons.
Yeah.
Controversy sells.
Yeah.
You have to ask them. Maybe both. Two things can be right at the same time. I don't know.
It's just like I said, like fucking I love Slipknot. They say a lot of shit that could be construed as demonic and shit like that.
Right.
I've never heard them claim to be Satan worshipers at all, but it's fucking provocative.
I mean, Black Sabbath, for the love of God.
Yeah. Fucking Whitechapel. There's a band called Whitechapel that I think we talked about it briefly. I know you don't listen to them, but they were like really heavy and dope, and Phil Bozeman was a fucking phenomenal deathcore vocalist, and then they wanted to experiment a little bit, and they got a little lighter with a couple albums, and everybody was like, oh, you've changed, blah, da, 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 da. And then they put out this song called Visceral Wretch, and it's the heaviest fucking thing they've ever put out. It's heavy as fuck. Right. And everybody's going to be like, well, they need more influence. They went with the devil sound. No, they just fucking did what the people wanted.
No, whether or not these groups or these performers are showcasing their satanic ways or just trying to strike a fucking nerve.
Which is kind of one and the same, really.
Right. And even if they are, okay, whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, the song's pretty good.
Which one? Unholy?
That's not a bad song. I can get down with it.
Yeah, I didn't like.
I didn't hate it.
No, I don't dislike Sam Smith.
I mean,
the song "Good at Good
he gives
Vibes"
hope to fat, chubby men all across the world
that are super gay.
Well,
or is he might. I don't know if he's trans or gay. I'm not being fucking shitty. I just don't know.
I know that the performer on that album was trans.
I don't know, but
she, because I think wasn't she the first trans woman to perform at the Grammys or something?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But like the song "Good at Goodbyes." It's a Sam Smith song. Fucking great song. I know every word.
I mean,
I can't hit the high notes, but
this is the, and like we were talking, I was telling you earlier, if any of you, several years ago, I started to, I listened to a podcast, I forget which one it was, of a high wizard, interview with a high wizard of the satanic cult, basically. I believe his name is Zachary King. Now,
that doesn't sound very satanic. He needs to change it.
Whether or not he's full of shit, I don't know. It's an interesting story. If it's just a story, it's a good one.
Zachariah King's blood would be much better.
He got his start. He, as a child, got into hanging around with the wrong kids, I guess, doing, the whole, remember the Bloody Mary game in the mirror, doing that, casting spells. That grew into a group, which ended up being a satanic group, per se, is what he said, which had members of the church and all that, which turned into porn, child porn.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it escalated quick.
God damn.
So, and then when he got to college, he found out, went for another coven, and then he got in touch with the world satanic church, which I've never heard of it, can't find much on it, so I don't know if it exists or not.
It's up for interpretation.
And he eventually became, at a fairly young age, the High Wizard, which is apparently pretty big shit. Basically, the spell...
Sounds very KKK-ish.
The spell caster of the satanic group.
He's Dumbledore.
And he would go around... Yes.
He's Dumbledore.
He would go around and perform spells. They would do hexes and things such as that.
So crazy.
And apparently he was big... According to him, when he was in this role, and I believe he said there was anywhere from 1 to 9 of these high wizards in the world. And they never knew how many there were. He could have been the only one for a short time, could have been one of 9.
Oh, he himself didn't know?
Yeah, he did. Huh. Nobody knew who the other ones were. And they would wear, the dead paint, top hat, and have the little...
They look like Papa Shango.
Harry Potter's fucking wand.
They had wands?
Yes.
How cute.
And do and he said he would do the ceremony at Bohemian Grove.
Yeah.
That burning in, whatever.
And didn't you say they would curse or not curse fucking records and shit?
The music labels would bring in witches. I'm not sure if it was him, but would bring in witches to put a spell on the masters, if for success, I guess.
I want that power. I want to be able to sit there stuffing my face with Doritos, watching a live concert or something like that at an awards show, and be like, "Blah, blah, blah," with my wand, and see them fall on stage and be like,
but
"Fuck you."
He did say from, I believe, the years 88 to 97, I think it was. Don't quote me on that.
Oh, I gotta pee.
He would be flown out to New York, or no, I'm sorry, L.A., and be in a gymnasium type with a bunch of young people that would want to be stars.
And he'd just be up there Owen Harting them from the rafters.
In the music industry, and he'd go question them, and if he liked them, he would cast, I guess, a spell. And he said if they had a number one hit between those years, odds are he cast a spell on them to get that.
I don't know. It
seems a little, but then you hear.
It seems like a dude that just wants fucking clout.
I don't know. It could be full of shit. It could be real fuck. I don't know. It's interesting. I will say that it's interesting.
It's fun to talk about.
And and thinking back in the '80s, and how he got his start was kind of it was almost like a sex club kind of thing. And I remember when I was a kid, probably 10, 11 years old, in the neighborhood. I hope my mom's not watching. In the neighborhood that we lived in, hanging out with the older kids. I remember one day going into one of these, it was like a condo, townhome type thing, and there was some freaky shit going on. And from my memory, they were all, I don't know how old they were, I just know they were older than me. I'm not sure if they were adults or whatever. When you're 10, 11 years old, everybody looks old. So I was like, and I said, I'm out of here.
That doesn't go in the butthole.
That doesn't go there, fucker. But
that's not in the books at school.
It kind of freaked me out. I was like,
I bet.
But odds are they were probably just high school kids fucking around, having a little menage a trois,
doing a little anal.
So, but then again, it could have been older people there.
Gregory just said he grew up having the Playboy channel on cable, but I feel like that's a little different than walking into a room and being like, it stinks.
But if I would have I could end up in child porn.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And that came back to me listening to his interview. I was like, oh, I remember that time. And it kind of freaked me out. And then later on, it obviously scarred me because I became a man whore. So I've been told.
That's an interesting one.
But if I was that close to could I have been a satanic high wizard?
Right, yeah. I mean, fuck.
Were there adults nearby, hosting that, watching?
You could have been.
Odds are there were.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
funny how all those shady memories come out.
Yeah, I was this close to being hooked into child porn. I could have been on Epstein Island.
Oh, fuck.
Anyway, and let's get to the last part of this so we can get the fuck out of here.
I gotta pee hard.
Deals with the devil. Everybody's heard of Robert Johnson. Went down to the crossroad, made a deal with the devil.
It put out an album and a half and died.
The story is that he couldn't play a fucking lick. He sucked balls. But yet he came back.
And then he came back and he was like, suck my dick, Muddy Waters, even though it's 20 years before you.
He could do things that nobody else could do.
Yeah.
So, and he had a song, I believe, called Crossroads, where he said he sold the soul to the devil.
Yeah.
Charlie Daniels.
The devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal.
And I believe Katy Perry even said in an interview she sold her soul, she was a gospel singer. She got her start as a gospel singer.
Yeah.
That's really fucked up.
It reads, though.
She switched teams, big time.
Fuck it.
Bob Dylan has made the same assertion, but didn't come out and say, I made a deal with the devil. He hinted around about it.
But for all we know, Bob Dylan could have just been giving him his fucking McDonald's order when he said that.
That's true, but like I told you earlier,
the Big Mac.
but like I told you, Bob Dylan makes sense. For that motherfucker to get famous.
Hey, he was a phenomenal songwriter.
Yeah,
even
but
if you
by
couldn't
singing,
understand him.
That fucker couldn't carry a tune in a 5-gallon fucking bucket.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess basically, yes, this is all true.
I mean,
the Illuminati's real. They're controlling your children through music and television, and we're all fucked.
No, I would say I would not. With the past 4 years, I'm going to end on this. It does not surprise me if there is a group of people above the music industry trying to push us in a certain direction, just like in 2020 they were pushing us in a certain direction. They're always trying to push us in a certain direction.
Just accept it.
And I think music is a fantastic way to do it.
100%. So, yeah, it's all true.
I mean, now whether or not, if you want to call that group the Illuminati, fine. And if, I will say this, if you want a sex cult, sex magic, and you get Shakira involved, I'm down. Let's do it, bitches.
Lay down and let me pour goat's blood on your dick.
I'm good.
That's all you, bud.
I might sell my soul for that.
Go for it. Probably not even worth that much at this point.
Probably not. You don't want
I'll sell my soul to bang Shakira. How about 2 bags of Doritos and a Diet Coke?
We've seen your soul. It ain't worth a fuck.
How about a Little Caesars hot and ready? Oh, I gotta pee.
All right. I guess we'll fucking leave because Travis has got to urinate.
I have drank this much water.
Thanks, everybody, for showing up in the live stream. We appreciate you. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast app, come over to youtube.com.
I have no idea what I'm doing next week. We'll figure it out.
But like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you can catch us live. And be sure to like and share all our videos, all our podcasts, all that happy shit.
And the Illuminati's fucking real.
If you have a request for a topic, let us know. Maybe we'll fucking do it. I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll see you later. Take care. Love you. Fuck off.
Bye.